and mold this guy to be ready to use these fantastic young pieces to the best of their abilities.
Yeah, I think that Freshie honestly has been through so much throughout his career. He's been on so many different teams. He's experienced multiple IGLs that I think it's an opportunity for him to really show what he's learned over those years and as he becomes more of a veteran in the North American scene. But let's see how it is in practice. We are jumping into the action. Let's start it out here on Mirage between Lag and Marsborne.
Match of the day here, John. I'd argue. I mean, this is a really interesting 50-50 game in my eyes. A chance for either one of these rosters to jump ahead, have a meeting with NRG in the upper bracket semis, and again, inch closer to a potential main event spot here at StarSeries StarLadder Fall 2026. Instant smokes up in the middle and a charge up the catwalk here. Go Lag. Grizz first up to bat. Nyx actually hits the deck first. But with this 4-on-4, Lag decided to pump the brakes altogether. Actually, I say that. They've already gotten into A. It's a complete ruse. Beautiful work there to really sell everyone that this A bomb site was never the end result, but it is. And now the retake is on.
Yeah, it's going to be a little difficult for Marsborne because they were completely sold on going B, but Grizz will get a ripper of a shot onto DJ to make it a quick 4v3. However, do they have a kit? They do. Freshie has it, but they have to get to that bomb. Freshie will get a frag on his way towards it, and he throws the smoke onto it. Just going to stick the defusal. I think he's got this. Sam is in position to deny. Kit will be enough to get that defusal on through, but Freshie, yeah, he will survive as well. Gets the last, and Marsborne recover to get the first round.
You know, funnily enough, it's the slow rotations there from Marsborne that actually nets them the round in a way. You don't have this setup actually broken up on the A site, and once Grizz actually takes contact and they pause just for a moment, everything is pieced together and Marsborne are at the scene of the crime almost instantaneously. So great work from both parties there, but CT side just a little bit sharper with that preconceived setup. Already a force buyout for this Lag side. Cryptic usually likes to be a little bit more aggressive in his purchases, no matter what roster he's been on, and this Lag iteration is no exception.
Wumbo waiting here right outside Con. And you have Cryptic with the MAC-10 watching for that head to poke around. Grizz is wary of that possibility. He knows that he has to be careful how far forward he steps. Wumbo trying to watch over the smoke, but a flashbang comes in, blinds him, and then they take care of Grizz on the other side. A 5v4, but it's costly in terms of the HP, and Cryptic wins against OG Wizard. Makes it a quick two-man advantage. Wumbo can't track him down either, and Cryptic's doing all of this with very low HP. Has to run away from the incendiary, does so successfully. And my goodness, a 5v3, but it's so precarious. The nade! He'll get away from it, and Slay gets the kill onto Wumbo. Oh my goodness, Lag dipping their toes into the fire, but still surviving.
Somehow, some way, they live to tell the tale, and now this B bomb site red carpet has been rolled out. You want to get this C4 down as quickly as possible with Nyx. He's good for at least a couple here, you'd think, but he's only good for the one. It's just Freshie left up in it, and Slight catches the jump around from Freshie. So the force buy is successful off of some very precarious work from Lag.
Yeah, no, that's very nicely done from Lag overall, even though the HP was so low. Cryptic, I can't believe first he survives that duel with Freshie, and then he's able to continue fighting forth and take care of Wumbo as well. I mean, he wasn't the one to get the kill, but he did the damage, and then the job was finished, I believe, by Slight. But yeah, you can see here, guys, big thank you, of course, to Lorgar, who are going to be providing the PCs for the final main event here at StarLadder StarSeries Fall 2026. So again, huge thank you to them as we get ready for round number 3.
Round number 3 indeed. There's another force buy coming out from this CT side. OG Wizard on that scout. Can be a danger man with that weapon. But it's again that same mid setup where they toss in that utility, they get up this catwalk very easily, they force Nyx into a difficult situation with that Deagle, and sure, you've got 3 players on the site, but nobody nobody can connect any headshots with the Deagles. And with that, the force buy is quelled. Lag jump out to a 2-1 lead, and all of a sudden, that exciting pistol round, simple defuse is in the rear view mirror.
That small sample size for lag of 3 maps played here on Mirage. However, throughout that time, they've won 46.7% of their T rounds and 61.1% of their CT rounds. So very CT-sided here. However, if they can pick up a decent chunk of T rounds, that'll give them a nice edge as they switch sides. And of course, Marsborne's going to do everything they can to prevent that from happening. And in this round, OG Wizards at least making it expensive. The no-scope found onto Sandman.
Nice little shot there. Fortunately, actually, I'm not sure if he did want to actually go for the upgrade there. Opts to keep the scout instead. Doesn't have a player to really drop that off to anyways. So, OG Wizard has another opportunity to utilize that scout as best as possible. But a nice bounce back here from lag to start things out. It showcases, again, the stability of having a core that has previously played together in Cryptic, B-Wills, and Slight. And adding in some veterancy in DJ. And honestly, Sandman's been around for such a long time at this point that I'd argue that he's also a bit of a veteran in his own regard. So, very wary of a lot of game situations that maybe Marsborne aren't just yet.
Alright, well, Cryptic's going to take care of Grizz. Just tried to slip in there and have a peek towards mid. Cryptic not allowing that at all. And lag now will just storm in towards the A site. This is not the one that is stacked, of course. OG Wizard fires off a scout shot that won't connect with anything. And while this round is effectively over, it's a matter of how much damage Marsborne can do, if any. And Sandman says, nah, go back to sleep. He's going to get himself a 3K. And OG Wizard falls to Cryptic's Glock.
That's what you want to see if you're a lag fan. A sweep on that anti-eco. The scout doesn't get anything. And with that, with lack of really any kills found, OG Wizard will not have an AWP in this round. And our stake odds suggest, again, it leans slightly to lag, but hey, if you want to put your money where your mouth is, there's that weekly reload of $35 if you drop that code STAR35 to support StarLadder. And we'll see where the chips may fall. Cryptic decides to have a look-see out in mid, but takes some significant damage, spamming through that top mid smoke, and with that, Marsborne have an opportunity to potentially jump on that, but an execution is imminent.
Oh, absolutely. Marsborne somewhat ready for it. No one CT spawn might be a little bit of an issue. You should say no one ticket. 1:15 on the clock now. Here they come. Lag not wasting any time getting in towards here, and this is just gonna be a retake. Yeah, they're going for a retake setup. They realize that they just don't have the opportunity, and B-Wills through the smoke finds the head of OG Wizard. A nade goes out. That'll do a decent amount of damage. No, actually doesn't go deep enough. So Wumbo's the only one on the receiving end for just a little bit, and I don't even know. Do they have util? They got 2 smokes and a flashbang. Do you even go for this, or do you just save? And it looks like they're gonna call the save.
You have no kits, John, and that's the big part, right? And like, you don't have any sniper to cut down these long lines from cat to triple. You can't really duel from CT to main. None of those angles that you would just favor an AWP in are available. And of course, it takes them so long to just breach into cat and con that this retake was never feasible. This is a serious problem considering how little this CT side is willing to fight for mid as far as this game is concerned so far. And if this continues to go this way, I mean, Cryptic is a smart enough IGL to know that he can do whatever he wants on the map. I mean, you've seen the cat fakes, you've seen the cat X's into B, you've seen the mid utility into an A execution. There's all kinds of things that are being thrown at a new caller in Freshie, and he has no idea how to combat it. And I think the #1 way to do that is to fight for middle. Get aggressive. Have a player up in the underpass. Maybe have a boost up. there has to be solutions, and they have to come now.
Agreed. We'll see if they can do that. At least they were able to save 3 guns out of that previous round, so another buy-up is indeed possible, though Freshie has to settle for the MP9. They're throwing the smokes from mid, but again, not really fighting for it. You have Wumbo along with Grizz having a look here, I guess. Not really committing to it. Slight getting ready to re-smoke window, I'd imagine. Just biding his time and waiting for the right opportunity to do so. Yeah, a little bit of a standstill here.
Smoke up in the middle. There's a little bit more space here, but still gotta keep the foot on the gas pedal if you're Marsborne. Still have to look for this information, and Grizz spots out a player onto the bench, but isn't able to complete the kill just yet. But they know how much Lag actually loves this mid space. And yet again, this time it's a little later in the round. They'll drop a top con smoke. They'll still get up the catwalk as usual. You've got a piece of aggression here from Sandman out through the apartments. This B-bomb site is under threat, and it's under threat right now.
Yeah, DJ and Slight just get 2 very quickly, and only 1 player remains to defend it. Reinforcements are not far behind, but OG Wizard's not going to survive the duel. That means Wumbo, along with Freshie, are going to have to do all the work here. Down to a 3v2, but Cryptic has the flank. He fires a little soon, but they don't realize it. They haven't heard it, because it's a silenced M4, and he gets another shot at it because of that. And it will be a Wumbo who falls after that. So, well done. On the side of Lag, they continue their strong form here to open up Mirage 5-1 in their favor.
And unfortunately, the lack of adaptations continue here, John. This time around, you have 1 player cat side actually taking some contact. Your top con player isn't really getting any information. You don't have any aggression up through A main to potentially cut off parts of the map to get an extra rotation into B. You don't have any palace aggression either for that same reason. And all of a sudden, the CT side falls completely flat. It doesn't look like a real tangible defense that can string rounds together consistently. I mean, sure, you don't have the AWP out for OG Wizard yet, but these problems are going to continue to arise if Cryptic wants to continue to push the issue here in middle, to continue to abuse that cat side and make Grizz's life very, very difficult on that B bomb site.
All right. Well, we go into round number 7 here. Let's see if Marsborne will finally make those adaptations. I mean, in this round, it's just the half buy. So, I mean, you can take more risks as a result, maybe get aggressive, and Freshie's already going to jump into underpass to try and have a peek towards B, but that's not where Lag are headed. They're going for this mid control again, and once more, there isn't really much to receive them on this side. OG Wizard definitely got the spot, but ooh, slow walking around that. That's not the best of decisions. Freshie, looking for a flank. Is anyone watching? No one is. Slight's dead, off on the ground. Now they have to try and find Freshie. They know he's a threat, so they have to deal with what is in front of them first. I can't speak, Paladin, but anyway, Lag is executing quite effectively here as they move in and get the bomb planted. And I feel like Marsborne, having recovered that op, might not want much to do with this post plant.
I mean, now you're starting to see Cryptic really work his magic. CT side wanted to look for a little bit of mid space and try to adapt, but this time Lag hits the go button on splitting into this A bomb site as quickly as possible, and the Palace players who have been so slow in their approaches decide to up the tempo, and Marsborne CT side has nothing to do in this one. Nyx will be able to pick up a gun and try to scamper away with that AK, but he's getting chased down. He will fight tooth and nail to hold on to it. Sandman might be able to duel and take it away. Spots the head, and he will capitalize on it. But AWP, the primary weapon of this round, is still retained, and OG Wizard will have another bite at the cherry.
That's the important part, I guess, for Marsborne coming out of that round, since it was just a half buy. But again, in that situation, you want to see maybe a little bit more assertiveness trying to retake the bomb site. But I do understand, as I mentioned before, just saving the op is a priority. Also, guys, make make sure you check out atkgear.com, as ATK have a giveaway right now for 8 gaming mice. You can click the banner below the stream to enter that giveaway, and there are some solid mice. So you're going to want to do that, guys. Anyway, speaking of solid, Slight and B-Wolves are going to get a couple of frags immediately. OG Wizard trades it out, but it's still a man edge. Nyx will change that. Headshot onto DJ. So a 3v3, although Lag have made such a large amount of noise towards mid, towards A, that Marsborne have shifted completely off the B site, and Cryptic has the perfect read. However, it looks like Grizz has realized and gone into Mark and said, wait, no one is at B. I have to rotate around and have a look here as to what is going down. And we'll see if Cryptic can get a beat on him or if Grizz will win the duel first.
Good kill from Grizz there. Cryptic goes down. Molly up into the back of the site though. Grizz still kicking, still having an opportunity to actually find impact in this round. And inside is Slink over across the E-box side, finds Sandman and drops the bomb just temporarily. It puts it all on a Slight in the 1-on-3. Finally, a disadvantageous position here for Lag. And Marsborne, they need to convert this. They're finding a way to triangulate him. He's pinned to the safe side, and Nyx will close it out. Marsborne finally find themselves a favorable round and a favorable conversion as well. It took a little bit of time, John, but they finally get it over the line.
No, and that was brilliantly done by Grizz. They got to give him fist bumps for that, because if without him, they don't win that round. Just getting that first one onto Cryptic because he slunk his way out towards the bomb site, and then he just continues maneuvering around, slowly making his presence unknown to Lag, and still managed to get that second. And after that, even better, not the fighting aspect, but the intelligence to retreat and force Slight to have absolutely no idea where he might be. And that allows for Slight to get isolated from Market, where the flank was coming through. So overall, very well played by Grizz and Marsborne as a whole. But right here, an opening frag goes the way of Lag. Again, it's Slight connecting onto Wumbo. DJ just blindsides Grizz there. It's going to be a 5v3 in favor of Lag. They know the B site is extremely vulnerable and no one is actually there. They have a free bomb site to take at this stage as Marsborne's gambling in the other direction.
I mean, you know, Slight hasn't really been that big of a factor so far in the series, but now you're having him come online to get you openings, and playing behind as a CT side on Mirage is just so difficult. It forces you to take a lot of risks and get aggressive in terms of gaining information. You know, you go aggressive in main, you go aggressive in Palace, you try to find some space in underpass, but Marsborne aren't even taking those risks right now, and it's leaving them essentially like in round loss environments in a 4v5 straight away. It's like if they don't get the man advantage to start things out, they get terrified and they basically turtle up hoping that they can battle back through sheer gambling, and that's just not going to cut it right now, because Cryptic in his own right is finding ways to utilize these man advantage situations to a T, and I do really admire how he's shaping together this T side. It showcases the difference in experience between these two callers right now, and how much different these two rosters are from each other in terms of their development as of right now.
No, you're absolutely right to point that out. And Cryptic has been developing his IGL skills over an extended period of time, and he's always been very gifted in terms of his Counter-Strike IQ, and he puts a ton of work behind it. Like, he does so much research going into every single match, and that's what sets him above the rest at this level of play when it comes to the thinking game. And Freshy's got a lot of catching up to do when it comes to reaching Cryptic's level. But yeah, I mean, that's just the nature of Freshy being a new IGL and Cryptic being, well, to the point of being a seasoned veteran here in the North American stage. Anyway, 7-2 in favor of Lag. The nade goes in on the side of Marsborne as they're trying to anchor down. That's Nyx trying to anchor down the B site and keep Lag at bay in the early parts of the round, and he has successfully done that, so he's holding them back. Marsborne need to find some rounds and fast, otherwise this one could slip through their fingers very quickly.
And yet again, they're holding all the way back. OG Wizard is looking at mid control from the ramp or from the murder hole.
Yes.
And that I don't think that is a feasible way to approach the round. They've left the B bomb site wide open at this point. They are playing retake on the B bomb site.
It's not a good idea. And look, you're going to have to push through a smoke or a Molotov here. Although Nyx does get one onto Sandman. Grizz finds another, and then Grizz pops through the smoke. He's the hero again. He's the hero again from the back of B site. However, it's not over yet. Grizz manages to get himself a third, and Slight is the last one standing. So despite all of that, despite leaving all that space open, Grizz does manage to slip through at the perfect moment and end the round. And then he finds the last as well. A quad kill for him. He jumps up to 8, leads the team in terms of frags, and it will be at least a third round found on the side of Marsborne.
I mean, you gotta really thank Grizz for essentially like 2 rounds of the 3 that they've won so far. It doesn't feel like you've really tangibly gotten anything in terms of stability as far as the foundation goes for this squad so far. You can't get stability off of stake if you use our code STAR35 for a free weekly reload. As we jump back into the action, OG Wizard now finally finding a little bit more impact on that AWP. 5v4 for Marsborne to use.
This is a nice shift up, though. We were talking about the fact they need to get more aggressive towards mid. I think that's the first time they've gone for a foray through those smokes and gotten a little bit aggressive, and I guess OG Wizard gets his kill off of that. Now a lag have readjusted into A. Freshy's ready and waiting. He finds himself a 5v3 advantage, but he's going to be surrounded quickly. Yep, he falls. It'll only be a man edge soon, but Grizz, look who it is. Who else? He's going to come to save the day once more. Gets himself a 2K and Slight's the last one standing. I mean, look, Marsborne now, there's a third for him. I don't want to say it's because of Grizz they win this round, but he contributed heavily again, and he's that individual that's stepping up to the plate. But how long can you rely on that individual effort to find success, right? You need the rest of the team to start kicking into gear.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, right now it's providing a lifeline, but is it going to be the reason why you win? That remains to be seen. I don't necessarily know if that's going to be feasible on the T side, especially where you're going to really want to have a good game plan. You're expecting your IGL to have the solutions for you and to follow through with that. Now back to what's worked for Lag. It's a solo mission out from Cryptic up through mid, and he's gotten into the ladder room at minute 38. Straight away, this B bomb site is hot under the collar yet again. Grizz with this early rotation, though, gives a little bit of a chance for Marsborne to get it pieced together. Nyx has spotted out a player, taken some bullets, dropped the smoke early, but Lag looks like they're going to go straight through this after this spray is continued, or completed, rather.
Yeah, and I mean, also Cryptic spots the toe, so he knows Grizz is there. I was going to say, you can't forget that both these teams are technically CT-sided according to the stats on Mirage, and with the 7-4 lead, Lag have already ensured they're going to take a lead into that next half. Cryptic does indeed find that opener onto Grizz as I'm blabbing away, and now Nyx is under a ton of pressure here. He just gets his head taken off before the utility really becomes a factor. Well, that flash did blind him at the very last moment of his life. All right, 5v3 now. Lag trying to take an 8-4 lead into the second half here as the bomb now ticks away in the post plant.
Oh, silent jump up from Wumble, but then he makes noise on the second jump. It gives all the time in the world to Cryptic. OG Wizard and Freshy, they're not long for this world. It's just OG Wizard. Doesn't even find the tag. Lag get themselves a comfy lead of 8 rounds going to the end of the half. All
right, we're back into it here, getting ready for the second half of play. 8 8-4 in favor of Lag. And, you know, Marsborne, while they did have some successes, the big reason why was Grizz.
Essentially the only reason, I'd argue, John.
Yeah.
There wasn't really anything to write home about in terms of Marsborne's CT side setups. And with that, Lag took full advantage. The credit has to go to Cryptic for getting the most out of his players and finding a mid-round spree of rounds on that T side. They now lead 8-4 and have an opportunity to collect their own map pick with ease. OG Wizard given raid boss duties on that P250, a smoke also on his back. But a very slow approach to Marsborne's T side, and OG Wizard, that raid boss P250 is gone before you even think about it.
Jeez. Cryptic putting down a former teammate there. Sandman takes care of Grizz. Nix hoping for something, but he just misses almost every single shot. In fact, yeah, well, didn't miss everything because B-Wills was down to 11, but still, no one really on Marsborne is able to do much except for Wumbo. Nice little 1-2 punch there. Problem is, he's one shot away from death. Only 18 HP remains. Continues to fight for it, but 3 players know exactly where he is, and they are right around the corner. Wumbo's trying to retreat. He doesn't have the bomb, which makes his chances of success here in this clutch very, very low.
It's cool that he did that sideways, though.
Yeah.
Well, you still have a hand at this. As a look in. Slight should be able to spot this at a certain point. There it is. And they know that it's all just smoke and mirrors. There's not actually anything happening here. He's still coming up to Khan. And Wumbo will go down with nothing. So, I continue to march on, inch ever closer to this map victory. And Marsborne look hopelessly lost to start things off. This time now, it's the individuals that are popping off for Lag. You can allow your vets to get you a couple of multis and just get it over the line and put this map to bed.
And yeah, exactly. And you look at the win rate that I was talking about before on their CT side, 61.1%. Like, they are very, very comfortable once they switch over to the defensive side. And in fact, one thing that was a bit of a weakness for them was pistol rounds. They only came into this winning 1 of 6. And now they've won... Did they win the first half one? I can't remember, but they definitely won this one, as we saw. Took care of business. Slight. Gonna do some damage here, so is Sandman. And it's pretty much lambs to the slaughter here for Marsborne, who did not buy up in the round and won't find any success as a result. Lag cruise to a 10.
Nice little consolation there for Wumbo. But this is it. Big, big test here for Freshie. A big test for Marsborne as a whole. I'd take a timeout there here if I'm Marsborne and really talk this one over, because essentially this map is hinging on this, but no timeout taken. We'll go in. Slight takes a little bit of a love tap on the way out, but AWP up for him very early here. He has a chance to really twist the knife and surprise Marsborne altogether with this sniper out almost immediately.
You see the approach here for Lag as well towards mid. Very different from Marsborne. Just threw a couple of flashbangs to allow B-Wills to have a peek towards mid window and at least get some information, even though now the smoke is up so you don't have much visibility. They will have a re-smoke thrown by Marsborne. And mid control's gained. Lag now backing off completely from mid, but Cryptic's watching. Oh, I think he might have spotted something because he throws that smoke out. At least know if the smoke needs to be recycled. And Slight gonna get mollied back towards that B site. Finally, there we go. Opening frag found for Freshie. Sandman gets the insta-trade because he's trying to hold on here at the A side, but eventually Nix does him in. B-Wills, last man available here, and he'll only get 1 as well. So some fantastic trading from Marsborne to give him the advantage. Nosy Wizards in the perfect spot to punish DJ. This should be a freebie for him. And it is.
And it absolutely is, yes. And Slight now will go to save. There's a couple of awkward timings there for Lag to piece that one together, but it's Freshie that gets a lot of space up through connector. He's able to get into jungle pretty much with ease. as soon as he gets that entry, and then from there on out, it's pandemonium for every other CT anchor. They're looking every which way to cover all their bases, and in that process, you're having players like OG Wizard and players like Nyx, and even Wumbo to chime in for a couple, and Marsborne get back into things. So, a bit fortunate with how the flight paths work there for Marsborne, and they get rewarded with the first gun round victory. Should still be money here for Lag to purchase, so it's not out of the woods just yet for Marsborne, but this is the path to redemption here, slowly but surely.
Yeah, and Freshie, the key to that, as you already highlighted, finding that entry in towards the site. And I feel like Lag backed off of mid a lot quicker than I expected them to in that round. I thought they were going to get a little more aggressive, fight forward more, but instead, I mean, you see the result, and we saw Lag abuse it against Marsborne round after round in the first half, where if you don't have mid control, you're allowing them to go pretty much wherever they want on the map, and you're lacking so much information on a map like Mirage. It's just so critical.
Well, with this tech pause, we can take stock of how our bracket is looking. Of course, NRG winning out their first best of 3. It took a little bit of time, with Nuke looking less than desirable, I'd say, John. It didn't feel like the NRG that we were kind of hoping for, but I feel like we got that eventually when we switched over to the second map of play in Inferno.
Yeah, we definitely did. I think NRG, that's the team we expected to see in map number 1, but also we talked about it, you know, you've got 2 newish additions, or brand new additions, and in fact, in terms of Hulzerk, and newer for George, kind of taking the place of Bro, who was picked up by Eternal Fire, but both delivered, even on Nuke, right? Even when things were a little bit tough for NRG, those 2 stood tall to help them get things back under control. So overall, I think NRG is starting to come together as we expect them to here in this closed qualifier, but it's only one match. We'll have to see how their next one goes as they continue on in the upper bracket. But things have continued here. Tech pause is over, and now we can get back to this one between Lag and Marsborne, where Lag have a 5-round lead over Marsborne, and indeed still had a decent amount of cash. They've got the AWP up for Slight, Sandman the MP9, and 3 rifles around Cryptic, B-Wills, and DJ.
Well then, Sandman has done a great job so far in this game in terms of getting multi-kills. It feels like everywhere you look, he's getting himself a double, and that scoreboard results is the result of that, excuse me. Nearly a 2 KD. Nearly 15 rounds deep, but here comes the mid-crunch from Lag. It's going to be completely dry, and it does catch Wumbo off guard. He still manages to get one, but it's really Grizz putting in some major work here in the middle of the map. And while all this is happening, Marsborne have waltzed into the B bomb site, and they should be able to capitalize on a 6th round. Slight will catch out Grizz eventually, but it doesn't matter. I mean, he did his job in spades. It just feels like Grizz is on a one-man fact-finding mission to pull Marsborne kicking and screaming back into the competition for this first map.
Absolutely. I mean, you can also see an overcommitment to mid control there from Lag, leaving so much space open on B. That's why your anchor is so important on B Mirage, right? You have to leave someone behind there to make sure that the apartments push doesn't just storm right in without any contention at all. And, well, I mean, it wasn't there because they had put that potential crunch on mid. I can't blame them for trying because they wanted that control, but it just doesn't work out. And, okay, well, OG Wizard takes care of Sandman at the end, so no saved gun there. But good on Marsborne at the very least, and, well, Grizz for actually stepping up again.
Now, this is where things get a little dicey for this CT side. You still have this AWP from Slight to put some economic pressure, but Reshi and Co are slowly cutting this gap and starting to turn up the heat slowly but surely as well. Kind of looking towards Slight and what he wants to get up to, but checks out the apartment, sees nothing, hears nothing, and now it's trying to book it over to this A bomb site, but it's going to be too little too late. It's up to these pistols to start to get frisky around these smokes, and you still have that P250, that snake in the grass in terms of Sandman, but OG Wizard is privy to it. Slight does get the AWP out in the nick of time, and DJ catches him through the smoke. We've got ourselves a 2-on-2, make that a 2-on-1 though. OG Wizard gets a little bit of spam on his end and thrusts the Opera into the clutch. Slight is good for one or two of these clutches, but I think he's operating with the assumption that he wants to have this in the next round as well. It's a little conservative for my liking. You know, they've still got plenty of lead in terms of 3 rounds, and they still want to keep their economy check moving forward.
No, that's why I said no. I feel like this is the right play. As much as we'd love to see the hero attempt at the 1v2, keeping the op up in a round where you didn't invest much, and the next one he can drop an M4 over to someone else, maybe to DJ who's a little low on money. It just makes sense. It's the right call. I feel like Cryptic is the one who said, hey, nope, don't go. Fall back. I know it sucks now to lose the round. We've got a 10-6 lead. We don't have to panic. And let's make sure we have a stronger buy-up going into this next round.
Nick's doing great work, but I got to give credit to OG Wizard there for making sure that no shenanigans could happen. They heard that tick from the molly into balcony, and they didn't want to let that position go. But I like this conservative approach from Lag in some senses. I do also like this ATK gear giveaway. We've got 8 gaming mice being just given away. So, of course, if you want to click on that banner, enter for your own ATK mice. And get right back in the action, I'd assume shortly, but we have a little bit of a tech pause here to sort out as well. You know, kind of thinking about the rest of the games. For the rest of the day, we've got Voka and Regain, which Voka going through their own changes, bringing back Dare, you know, familiar face for that Voka core, and Regain also, you know, I'm always excited to watch Regain play just off the fact that I get to watch Honest play Counter-Strike. I feel like this guy is the next guy that we have to tout, and I don't think that he's getting enough mainstream NA attention just yet.
Yeah, I saw him at an event. He's a good guy too, right? He's really very professional. Even though he's young, he's very professional, very polite to all of the staff. I remember at the event that I was attending. So it's good to see he's got his head on straight and he's a strong player. So yeah, I'm excited to see where his career goes. I don't know if Regain will be his final landing spot. I think he's perhaps got higher spot to gain somewhere else, but right now it'll be very fun to watch him and see what he can deliver in this closed qualifier. That being said, we're back into action. Tech timeout's over, and Slight hits the headshot through the wall onto Grizz, so the toughest player to deal with on Marsborne has now been felled. 5v4 for Lag. DJ is looking for another one. They're not really watching Cat right now. I mean, they are sort of, but Freshie manages to slip in. Now the backs are turned, and Beagle's here. He spots the barrel of the rifle, and Freshie wins the duel. Even with that information, Sandman's in trouble too. He's panic spraying through the smoke and gets onto Nyx, but Freshie strikes back for not 1 but 2. Down to a 2v2. Slight's got to hit a shot, misses that one. Freshie knows he's here. He's going to look away. He gets the shots to eventually connect, and then DJ puts him down. 1v1, and OG Wizard hits the shot. 8th round found for Marsborne. There is still life in that core.
Well, hey, if, you know, Freshie can't necessarily get the troops together in terms of calling, he can sure as hell come up with a few entries and then some. Blinding kills to open up and carve up that A bomb site. He's come out of the connector a couple of times now, and he just makes it look so easy. As soon as he finds that first one, he's always very aware of how he wants to fly in for the next 2. And I continue to suffer the consequences of not being able to put down Freshie. Sure, Grizz has been felled a couple of times in the early rounds, but there's clearly a plan B in place when the captain says, I'll do it myself.
Yep. Freshie's always been a solid fragger too, so I think that's not necessarily unusual to see him get that done, but it's much harder when you have to call the shots at the same time to continue that same level of play. Anyway, what's really good news for Marsborne is they get an 8th round, and now the economy is in a really weird spot for Lag. Sure, they still have an op in Slight's hands, but everyone else, MP9s, pistol, a scout. We'll see how it plays out for them. Slight's got a chance to have a lot of impact with the scout. And then Sandman gets Nyx blindsided there. Freshie gets cryptic, but Wumbo a TK onto Freshie. That makes it a man advantage in favor of Lag again. I think it's just a matter of a lineup, and they're both shooting, and very unfortunate. But it is what it is. They have to continue to play on here. 40 seconds remain. The B site is completely empty. I mean, this happened for Marsborne too on their defense. But for Lag to have all this space given up, and DJ's dead. Yeah, Grizz is watching there for the rotations. This could quickly shift around unless Slight gets a key shot, and he absolutely will. Grizz is gone, so a 3v2 advantage as they now go for the retake, and they do have a kit available.
Yeah, B-Wills will inch closer with that AWP of Slight, but the extra prong of the attack is down at 7, but what a shot there from Slight. It puts it all onto the young kid at Wumbo, brings it down to a one-on-one. It's vet versus youngster in this one-on-one. Huge implications for the economy and for this best of 3. And Wumbo has found safe haven in the backup pillar. He's traded positions nearly with B-Wheels. B-Wheels trying to figure out where the hell he's gone. And sure, he's got a kit, but you're absolutely right. He's got no time. Wumbo, cool and calm, collected in the clutch. And Marsborne march along to cut this lead down again and again.
I love this composure here from Marsborne and really taking advantage of the fact that Lag had 3 players stacked up towards Ticket and no one on B. Grizz, although he goes down, he does get an important piece off the board before he does and is able to, you know, at least make it a little easier on his site defenders to deal the killing blow. But Marsborne, you know, showing a ton of resilience. This was 10-5, 10-4 even, I believe, at one point. And they've managed to strike back, getting 5 in a row, looking to make it 6 here. Lag will finally have guns out again, but that lead is no longer a source of comfort.
Wow. What a roller coaster of a first map that we're on. I mean, this felt like an open and shut case, something that Marsborne would not be able to recover from. And yet they're doing it somehow, some way. It's not the cleanest, it's not the prettiest game of Counter-Strike, but they're getting it done nonetheless. This time around, Grizz, he's going to get up the catwalk free of charge, at least temporarily, but there's a couple of hurdles to get through. You got B-Wills and Sandman, but Sandman turns away. It puts it all into B-Wills, and he can't find anything either. Wumbo with the double entry, and sure, you've got Slight with this long line on this A bomb site, but the B bomb site has fallen, a plant has come in, and it's save territory yet again for Lag.
Yeah, and I think now it's gotten to the point where it's no longer just the Grizz show. Everyone else is starting to chime in. In this case, Wumbo's got that 2K. He also had the clutch, right, if you recall, in a previous round. So, you know, OG Wizards hitting shots, Freshies getting entries for the squad. Marsborne have awoken and tied us up at a 10-10 score line. And, yeah, now on a 6-2 run. As Lag have found little success after an opening pistol and a conversion.
Terrorists win.
You're taking a stock of this game, right? You're hoping for that X factor at this point for Lag to kind of turn the tide, and it hasn't necessarily happened. And look at how it's turned the tides of the stake odds. If you want to continue on with that weekly reload at $35, star 35. That's the code that you're looking for. And for Lag, they're looking for answers as Grizz goes charging into this A bomb site, rips a head off a Sandman. Now an opportunity to get even more. He finds B-Will straight through the smoke, and it's another bomb plant available for this T side, and a chance to take the lead. Who would have thunk it?
I mean, yeah, they've already taken it. There's no way Lag are fighting. They're just going to save their guns. Unbelievable stuff. It's been a case of defenses that haven't really delivered much at all here for either Lag or Marsborne. And you see here that Marsborne, in that case, just go for a very rapid-fire execute towards the A site, and it works beautifully. But guess who's the tip of the spear? It's Grizz with a 2K. So, I mean, if Marsborne win here, I still think that Grizz is absolutely MVP. It's uncontested. But it's just good to see that the rest of the pieces have really started to activate around him here, and they set him up for success. It's not just him. The flashbangs, the smokes, everything that was coming in around him helps him get those 2 entry frags to open up the bomb site entirely. And now you have Lag, who have been playing up throughout the entirety of the map, down by a round here after letting that very large lead slip through their fingers.
You know, this has been an issue for this core. I mean, you think about the time with Skin Rave, you think about the time with every previous core that this Lag roster currently has, and it's been the frustrating aspects of not being able to close out games.
Yeah.
And this is just continuing to rear its ugly head, that you're hoping that, you know, maybe the different pieces and players like Sandman and DJ could do that, but that isn't to be the case. Who is going to be that player to step up? And I just don't feel like the pieces that are available right now can do that. In fact, on the other end of the equation, it feels like everywhere you look, there's a guy that can break open the game for you on Marsborne.
Yeah, and they've got higher ceilings too, right? We haven't seen like the maximum potential from some of these young guys. So I agree with you, you know, that there's definitely room for any of them to start stepping up versus the Lag players are all known quantities here on the scene. Anyway, 1 minute and 6 seconds remains here. Lag still not out of this yet. They haven't lost the map, but they've certainly lost a lot of their momentum. In fact, all of it. Cryptic is going to get next to open things up, and a missed shot from Slight will lead to a chaotic push towards this A bomb site. Wumbo and Freshie are the last 2 standing, and Sandman will take care of Wumbo. Only Freshie left, and Slight delivers the killing blow. He does get 2 in that round, and finally, after a string of 6 rounds where they couldn't get a handle on things, in fact 7, they will get 1 back to tie us up at 11 and push it to a full 24 rounds.
I mean, it only took going up Con 4 or 5 times of those 7 rounds until there was an actual setup that could actually deal with it. It took 3 or nearly 4 players to deal with that situation, and Lag somehow, some way are going to tie this up at 11s, and they desperately need to get this one over the line here, John, because it feels like they finally found a crumb of momentum, and they've got to pull that into gear and use that as much as they can and run with it.
See if they can. Marsborne may just go fast again. I wouldn't blame them for trying it. However, maybe Lag will be ready for it this time. Sandman on the scene towards default. Cryptic supporting from stairs, but OG Wizard has a beat on him, hits the shot. Freshie gets the trade after Sandman finds Nyx, and you've got a 4v3 as they continue their advance towards this A site. Look who's here through connector. He has slipped through unbeknownst to Lag. It's Grizz, and he's got both jungle and ticket in his sights. We'll see how much he can do in terms of impact, but it feels like Marsborne may have already done enough to take this round with the bomb being planted. DJ's hoping for a quick response here to be able to find a body, but Wumbo along with Grizz are both tucked into connector. OG Wizard's watching the top of the smoke. He hits B-Wills. Slight and DJ still alive. Slight gets a key response, but there's still 3 players left to deal with. DJ's gonna have to help here, and actually Slight is gonna pick up an M4 and then grab the op again after getting a frag with that M4. This is some wild stuff. Time is ticking away though. Wumbo hits a key one and the follow-up as well. He is important once more in a clutch attempt, and Lag fall in round 23, which means that Marsborne have map point here on Mirage.
I mean, the intelligence of Wumbo is something that I'm really excited to see out of a young player who, you know, he isn't necessarily the flashiest. You know, he's not jumping off the page in terms of the score line that he has. But, I mean, these critical junctures that Marsborne need a guy to make sure that he's a safe pair of hands, it has been Wumbo. And with that, Marsborne get themselves that point. Wumbo now tasked with more duties, and the team flash gives Wumbo a free double kill. I mean, that might just be the knife in the back for Lag. And the final nail in the coffin here for this absolute Mirage collapse as Freshie compounds the pain on this B bomb site. He's got the site in his hands, and OG Wizard just has to run in and plant that bomb, shut this one out, but they're leaving. I don't know why. I mean, it looks like it's okay. Yeah, okay. Wombo gets there in the end. Freshie finds it, and Marsborne will be our map victors on map number 1. And if you told me that that would be the result at the end of half number 2 or half number 1 and the pistol of half number 2, I'd call you a madman.
Yeah, I feel like Cryptic's pretty seasoned as an IGL, and all these guys are veterans, so like they should be able to bounce back and play some solid Counter-Strike going on to Ancient, but that still is a very, very bitter pill to swallow when you're playing that well and all of a sudden you just have a complete collapse on your defensive end. One, by the way, that's usually really good for them. You know, 61.1% of their CT rounds going into that were wins. And then they only get 1, which is less than 10%. So I don't even know what happened on that one. But, you know, Lag are going to have to bounce back and say, look, put that one behind us. Let's see if we can do something here on Ancient. But as you already highlighted, those 2 losses, especially the one to Olympus, don't really paint a pretty picture. And Marsborne, their brushstrokes have been fantastic so far in terms of their resilience, along with their ability to come back from that deficit and take their map pick. Excuse me, take Lag's map pick away from them.
Yeah, absolutely. A world of hurt building for Lag, but they do get this defensive start. B-Rolls does get to spot out some of these T's knocking on this A bomb site, but it doesn't matter. They're going to continue their winning ways on this offensive side of things as Marsborne get themselves a 5-on-3. Going to repel away these dual Berettas on Donut as one hits the deck, and DJ not long for this world either. Up to Sandman in the 1-on-4. He won't find anything. Freshie will find its mark, and it's just a nice, simple, pacey pistol round to start things off here for Marsborne.
Yeah, I think one thing that's also really positive for Marsborne is that over 5 maps of play, they've had the 3 wins they've had have been very convincing. 13-2, 13-1, and 13-9. And not to mention, despite having a couple of losses in the mix, their CT round win percentage is sitting at 72.1%. T rounds at 45.8%. So you feel like if Marsborne come out here, do a decent job on T side, they'll be set for a very good opportunity at taking the 2-0 here. Nick's going to get a couple here before DJ puts him down with the 5-7, so DJ's going to get a Mac 10 upgrade. But in the meantime, Freshie deals the blow on DJ, who's trying to go for a flank, and Freshie's just watching the flank for his teammates as they go into the site. He does lose his life, but the bomb will be planted in the meantime, you'd imagine, or at least it should be. Now, there we go. Bomb's going to go down, and Slide and Sandman will do their very darndest to try and get back in here. Or maybe not. They might just save.
Well, that MP5 will have to do a whole lot of work in that next round. Mac 10 saved over from Sandman. But Marsborne just really bottling up momentum built up and utilize it as much as possible and getting as much value out of this T side as possible as well, just because you don't know how long this momentum lasts, you know? Like, you just want to run with it as possible.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because eventually it could come to a grinding halt and all of a sudden Lag are starting to pile on the rounds. All right. We're getting into round number 3. Guys, as you can see on your screen, don't forget that Lorgar they make some awesome PCs for 1, and 2, a huge thank you to them for providing the official tournament PCs for the StarLadder StarSeries Fall 2026 once the main event gets underway. Back to the action here. Marsborne, well, there isn't much to speak of, actually. They've already dealt with 3 players on Lag in the first 20 seconds of the round. And Cryptic and Sandman on the last 2 standing. This was just, you know, a couple of saved guns along with an eco round, so nothing too surprising here.
Bomb has been planted.
Grizz
Sandman.
Yep.
I don't necessarily know if he can get anything this one. But I mean, one kill makes things all okay.
And they'll help the money at least. I don't think he's gonna get it. Well, maybe. Let's see. Sandman, you got it? Maybe? Dipping his toes back in. There we go. Finally, Chris takes care of him. Nice effort from Sandman to try and build up a little more cash, but it doesn't happen. So Marsborne will indeed get their 3-0 start here. All right. Well, as we wait for things to continue here. Oh, okay, never mind. Don't have to wait very long. 4-0. Excuse me, 4-0. Round number 4 about to get started here. Getting ahead of myself, and in fact, Lag could easily come through and pick this one up. One thing I'm surprised that we're not getting from Lag is more aggression down mid. It's very typical of Ancient to want to push down mid, get those nades thrown, and take that space. Because if you don't, the T's have so many options available, and playing passive on a map like Ancient doesn't usually work out in your favor. We'll see. Marsborne biding their time. B site is ripe for the taking. And now, like, eventually you have to go through on CT side and see what's happening at mid. And there you go. Sandman walks out, has a peek. Wumbo's waiting in the shadows. Only a Mac 10 here, but he's got Freshie guarding with a crossfire. And Wumbo gets the first with a Mac 10. The AK could strike as well from Freshie. They're trying to retreat, and they do succeed in doing so. But Lag unable to secure a kill throughout all of that.
Now, Slight gonna still try his opportunity to find something, but rotation will come through. Cryptic's gotta stall for as long as possible. And the second and third rotations are also through. And with how long Marsborne are taking, it doesn't feel like the big line just yet. With all these players on the same site. And now Slight will play forward. He'll try to see if he can battle through all the chaos coming his way, but it's a line of things work. Luckily, there is a trade from Nyx and OG Wizard, but still so many players to deal with here. Bomb has to hit dirt, and they have no idea about B-Wills. 10 seconds left on the clock, and B-Wills down another. Finally, Lag can hang their hat on a round.
I think it's good to see an impact from B-Wills as well. He only had 9 kills in that first map of play, and he's a veteran to the scene. I remember a time a few years ago when B-Wills was a star player on rosters and was the one that you'd look towards to do most of the fragging. It's been a while since that point, but he's still got that potential to come out big. The lineup from DJ is huge, but it's B-Wills at the end to shut down both Nyx and OG Wizard to get Lag activated again. And you talked about it earlier, you know, it only takes a little bit to stop the momentum, and then all of a sudden the rounds could be piling on for Lag. And just a reminder, of course, folks, as you can see there, weekly reload of $35 is available when you use code STAR35 on stake and deposit $20. You get a daily $5 top-up for the first 7 days, or the next 7 days after using that code. Anyway, opening frag comes through, Grizz is down, and Lag finally have a bit of life.
Yeah, they're going to need it. They're going to need a number of rounds at this point. It feels as though they can't find a solid CLB in a world of hurt, but Wumbo is making sure that that's not the case. Oh my god, he's jumped all the way through all the... You ran out of bullets, and the AK switches to the Glock, takes out B-Wills, forces Slight to make this early rotation alongside his teammates, but 3v4 retake of this 8 bomb is going to be difficult from Nyx. Cryptic and DJ left wondering what the hell they can do. Sure, you dropped in this A main smoke, but everybody is on Donut side. It is just an evisceration of this A defense, and there is no chance at a retake here for Life's a Game.
Look, the young gun again in Wumbo comes through and gets some incredible contributions into that round. A quad kill on his side. I cannot believe that that goes down, especially considering that Life's a Game had the opener. They were the ones on the taking the right step forward, and in the end they fall in that round, and Marsborne right back to their winning ways. That's going to force a timeout out of Lysa game, because they have to talk things over and say, guys, what on earth could possibly be going wrong here that we're unable to get our heads together and win these rounds, especially when they have the advantages. And it even goes back, it harkens back to the previous map. I highlighted at the end, you saw it on your screen. They had so many opening kills from multiple players on the team. I think it was something like the 12 or 13, something along those lines, maybe more. And they just could not convert off of those opening frags, especially in the second half. So for it to happen again, it's got to be a gut punch for them.
Absolutely. And now Lag have no money, no funds to fight back here. Trying to get it done with these pistols. I just don't feel as though there's enough potency behind it. They've got a little bit of a main pressure here. But that's about it here, John. They've got a bit of a cave crossfire as well. Hopefully that can get things sorted.
Grizz going to get the opener onto B-Wills. And he finds the follow-up on Cryptic. Look, this is just a round where Lag are bringing in some bits and pieces in terms of pistols. It's an eco. So the expected result is Marsborne walking over them, and that's exactly what we're getting. In fact, you may even see Slight DJ and Sandman just opt for exit kills, try to get a gun out of the hands of Marsborne since the bomb's already being planted. Could do so against Nyx, right? He's just hanging around here all alone, looking for some picks. Jay spots him out. Oh, a bit of a miss on the spray. So Nyx is vulnerable, but he still managed to collect himself and get the headshot, and Grizz finds Slight. Sandman will get one, but it's almost certain he's traded out here. There's so many players nearby, and yeah, Wumbo deals the final blow. And there we go. Another round for Marsborne.
Well, Marsborne will go back through to see if they can continue their winning ways here, but another buyout for Slight. Chance for the CT side to get something here on Ancient. Cryptic searching for something. Nothing to be found. I mean, how do you pull yourself out of this is the question. How do you dig out of it? And maybe it can be captain. Maybe he can do it himself. We're on 5, but look at the A side's gone. I mean, they've just played full retake, and Marsborne have opportunity to trounce and get themselves a 6th.
It's still a 5v4, right? So maybe Lag can get back in here, but look at the lineup OG Wizard has. Oh, he's going to miss the shot. Nicely played, actually, by Lag. So they're going to take care of Freshy. OG Wizard recovers, gets one, but he can't deal with B-Wills on the other side. Grizz, along with Wumbo, trying to hang on to the side, but it's only Wumbo left. 1v3, gets the first, 10 HP remains. Bomb ticking down. They go for the defusal, and Sandman takes care of Wumbo. Lag have managed to string together a second round. It was not easy. Comes down to the wire, but a round's a round, and they can build off of it. That's a really important one for Lag to get, honestly. You saw them coming back in for that retake. Wasn't an easy situation, but nonetheless, coming around that corner, realizing that there could be an op watching the angle, they play it perfectly. They just send a player running across. It's a missed op shot, kind of splits the difference there between the player trying to go around, and then they charge forward and deal what is effectively the killing blow while they get a trade 1-for-1, and then they get the advantage on the next frag when the opper goes down in OG Wizard. So let's see if Marsborne can come through and recover again and isolate that round victory on the side of Lag. That's a fantastic start. Wumbo again. He has been everywhere here on Ancient. 10 kills so far. You saw him coming to life on the tail end of Mirage, especially in that second half. But now he is here to play, folks. He has been a stud. Freshy and Nyx gonna get a couple more. Sandman along with B-Wills. The last two standing in a 4v2, but Marsborne have absolutely and totally shut them down into this round. 1 minute remains, but it's not really important because the bomb gets planted, and now Freshy will get the last two. Really impressive stuff there on the side of Marsborne to again isolate Lag's round victory. It stops them in their tracks, it prevents any momentum from being built up, and it really turns these rounds into flashes in the pan rather than anything meaningful. Lag doesn't have much to buy up here. Money's not great. So it's going to be a scout, an MP9, and a couple of pistol upgrades. No utility. Only one piece of armor on Sandman's back. That's it. So you're like looking at a 7-2 in favor of Marsborne unless Lag can get a couple of nice headshots or picks from Cryptic on that scout palette.
Yeah, let's see what Marsborne can put together here. Sorry, Lag rather. I mean, Cryptic and Sandman are just forced to do everything on their own, and Sandman can't find anything. 250, and here comes that just outright gunning through the cave side and through mid. Big kills to come up for Lag, and now OG Wizard and Fresh everything own. Huge OG Wizard to find, bringing it back into a 2-on-2. Look at Freshy taking all this space on the B side. If they can find a way to get OG Wizard into that part of the map, maybe it's possible, but instead, Freshy's gonna walk all the way through cave and flank out this fighting player and DJ. Kill found. Bomb can be scooped up. 35 seconds left on the clock. Where does Freshy want to end up?
Oh, looks like the A site will be the focus of his attention. Cryptic's waiting. He's in the right spot. Needs a headshot here. Misses it! And Freshy will punish him for it. What an effort there on the Lag side. Frustrations maybe starting to bleed over here on the side of Lag. You can see that they were hoping to get that round, Cryptic in particular, but it just doesn't happen. And now a 7-2 lead. Look, I mean, at the same time, it's a round where not much was brought into it, right? So you can't be too upset that it came down to a 1v1, but it's just you need those rounds so desperately that it still hurts.
I mean, absolutely agree. It's a little difficult here when you're basically 5 rounds away off of the CT side and you have nothing to really show for it. You have this 5-on-4 and a little bit of info off of Nyx that Cryptic capitalizes on. Smoke up into the lane side there. Didn't come for it. They actually have to open to see if they can find a space into that B-bomb site, but it doesn't happen. And OG Wizard will get himself a clean little spam kill, but that's all she wrote. Any damage is good. Look at how much money there is for Lag. Unfortunately, a find, and Lag will get themselves their 3rd round. And you know, if they can get rounds on the CT side, I think we can look past all of this.
I think so too, but the problem is, you know, getting to that point, every single round victory they've found, whether it be convincing or a tightly fought one, it just hasn't led to any sequence of rounds in a row. They continue to be isolated, and Marsborne's money should still be good enough, yeah, for a full buy of AKs. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Oh, excuse me. There is a couple of Galils in the mix here, so it is a little limited. But yeah, just, of course, guys, you can see the stake odds on your screen. Heavily favoring Marsborne, as you'd expect with this type of lead. But you can use code STAR35 and deposit $20 to enjoy a daily $5 top-up for the next 7 days. That's code STAR35 that you can use there. All right. Back into it here. Round number 11. Grizz gonna get the opener onto Slight. Marsborne already off on the right foot here. And Wumbo get wicked openers there onto DJ and B-Will. Sandman manages to trade one back, but that's not going to be enough. And again, you know, we look at this round, right after a lag win, Marsborne suffocate them immediately with some very decisive play. They go in towards Red Room, get a couple of kills, and then storm into A without any real problem getting those last two. Well, I shouldn't say last two because Cryptic's still alive, but Cryptic's just on the save mission right now. So yeah, 8-3 for Marsborne, and that 7-5 possibility is now gone.
Yeah, I don't think there's really any worries on Marsborne's side about how things are going. Everything coming up their way. You look across the board, so many players provided so much help in terms of making this T side look peachy keen. I mean, I don't even think it's like Freshie calling up a storm or anything. It's just he's got the right play, the right pieces firing off on the right cylinders, and he's doing what he can to make sure those advantages that he's getting are being used to the utmost. So actually, yeah, the more I talk about it, he is calling a good game.
Let's see if he can call them to a 9th round victory. They went for this B push twice, and it's failed both times. They're going to try again with a flashbang toss by Nyx. Oh my goodness, Freshie capitalizes on that. DJ and Cryptic couldn't see a thing, and then Nyx comes in to chime for a frag, onto Slight. B-Wills and Sandman, the last two standing. Nade's gonna come through, and B-Wills, while he will get one, I don't see a path for Lag to win this round unless things go horribly wrong, and they will not. Freshie gets the last two.
Really making something out of nothing. Thin air, you feel me? I'm glad to be in that position because everything is broken.
Every time I elevated something to celebrate. John Jones, I went to heavyweight on these featherweights, but I ain't backing down, I'ma take the weight up another plate. Lean at the crumbs, that's how you eat, let me demonstrate. Decade in the game, I ain't lost a step, I just up the pace. Watch them up the pay, I put in the reps and pick up the chase. Then it up the balance, but we ain't even no miles away. It ain't just a talent, I took the challenge and walked the craze. Fell a couple times, but I got back up with some saving grace. Definitely leader, a pastor still need a preacher. Talk to me when I'm shallow, lend a lens to see deeper. Closer in to see higher up, that's too much for the speakers, but ain't much for the thinkers. Clouded, I rush to the lower end to see what's in the deeper. Found a message to send us. We're much younger and eager. Keep your youth and maintain your health, cause the future is trouble. But you made for the struggle, and you born with the hustle. Any imagery less than greatness, erase it and double down on your first mind. I come from the worst kind, made life before I found shine. No chain, it was all grind. I'm him and they want to dim, but my lumen's way off the chart. I'm human, I can't admit, but my spirit up with the stars. I'm clear as I ever been. This feeling won't never end. They watching, I notice, but it ain't knocking the focus. I'm highest and hottest, but I still be the coldest. I'm a champion, I'm a win, I know. I'm a grind for mine, they can't stop me, no. If I die, it's fine, cause I live to show that it can be done. I'm a champion, I'm a champion. I'm a win, I know. I'm a grind for mine, they can't stop me, no. If I die, it's fine, cause I live to show that it can be done. I'm a champion, I'm a champion. Life been so crazy, I can't do nothing but look high. This is just like I prayed, but ain't like I thought. I'm my way and sitting in my zone while they plotting out my grave. I'm plotting my next stop out state, getting that pay. I kept it true, I can't say how they played. I'm just gonna state what I knew, and thank God I got grace. Grace for my years I've been putting in that pain. The bounce back insane, the build up took time, but wiped up the stains. I'm mic'd up is live, tap in, let's get gains. It ain't no more would did or should did. I got too much right now to brain. That's all I know and all I live for. All trying to stop my show. The tour 10 years ain't stopping till it's round the world and back again and back again and back again and back.
All right, we're gearing up for this second half of action. A very dominant performance from Marsborne in that first half. They really never gave Lag much of a chance to breathe. Lag, while they did string together a few nice rounds, they were never able to build on it at all. And it's really unfortunate, honestly, given the way they started this series, how good they looked, up 10-4 on map 1. But since that point, Marsborne have just had their number in every way, shape, and form. All right, let's see what Lag can do here, switching over, I should say, towards that T side. Quick flashbang tossed, shot fired here. And now Lag are going to be moving in towards this B site, trying to take it very decisively and quickly here, Paladin.
Well, let's see what this CT side. We take B, mind you, as the execution decides to come in. A couple of smokes, or one smoke, 2 flashes. I'm assuming that's going to be coming in through this long side. Dropped in. Spam is good from Nyx, though. Gets the 5v4 instantly, and OG Wizard from the backlines. Before the bomb even goes down, they've got a double man advantage.
Wow. And
a kit for Freshie to boot. This is a great situation for Marsborne to convert and get to double digits, and they are going to do it nearly flawlessly. Make that flawlessly.
Flawless, yeah.
Freshie, Nyx, and OG Wizard do everything. I mean, barely any damage taken at all. What's that? 34, 10, maybe 44 damage total, and they're just PG keen flying through this best of 3.
It's really quite wonderful if you're Marsborne, right? With what you've been able to achieve. The pistol rounds have been solid here over on Ancient, and they won the second half pistol on Mirage. Just absolutely wonderful. And then not to mention that their calling and everything has been on point. Freshie deserves a lot of credit for his recovery and able to be, you know, so resilient, like I mentioned earlier, not only in terms of his calling, but look at his kill total. 16 and 5 here on Ancient. Grizz has done a lot of good work, and Wumbo as well, but Freshie has been entering for them, and he's been picking up the pieces when he's been called upon time and time again. Let's see if Lag have some sort of answer here on what will be a force buy, and so far, not good. Grizz connects on Slight through the smoke. And another one. Oh my goodness.
There goes OG Wizard. I mean, it feels like they can do no wrong at this point.
Yeah.
Grizz has found the flow state, and Lag are just out of answers. It is 11 rounds now for Marsborne. There's no money, and you gotta think, John, it just feels like a complete mental collapse after the loss on Mirage. They've lost all belief and motivation that they can get back into this game, and this core, as I kind of alluded to previously, just cannot seem to stay mentally together and in check when things don't work out.
It's surprising, though, to me, because I was saying at the beginning of this second map, Paladin, these guys are veterans in the scene. You'd expect more resilience in terms of their mental fortitude to come through here, but we haven't seen it at all. This second map has been very flat for them.
Very disappointing. It's very disappointing because, again, I thought this was a 50-50 match. And, you know, maybe when they were both mentally in it, it would be a 50-50 match. But it seems very much that one team is checked out and the other one is locked in to fly through this bracket and to potentially go up against the likes of NRG, gun for a spot with him. And, of course, want to gun for some quality PCs. Lorgar, our official tournament PCs. Definitely check them out. We have to give them a nice shout out. Thanks for that. As Marsborne continue to get closer and closer to that dance with NRG. Aggression here through the lane side. MP9 up close and personal. And doesn't find anything, but Freshie is there for the trade.
Yeah, and the rest of the players have rifles. Across the board, Freshie up to 17 kills now. Looks like he's going to drop 20 unless he's shut down here. Oh, almost gets his 18th. Will fall back. He's got reinforcements over at Long B. Re-smokes the ramp as well. This is just getting tougher and tougher for Lag. Eventually, they're going to have to make their approach, but they're wary of the long B presence. They know where Freshy is, and Freshy spots the head, but he looks away at the wrong time. Timing is terrible, and DJ gets Wumbo as well. 4v2 and a 4v1. Here we go. Lag finally looking like they're going to collect another round, but it's not over yet.
No.
OG Wizard in a 1v4 makes it a 1v2. Incendiary's perfectly placed. Sandman's in trouble. He has to move, and OG Wizard finds him through the wall. OG Wizard needs one more to convert on this clutch. He's still got time, and he's got the kit. Cryptic is low, and Cryptic hits a ripper of a deagle shot to keep his team in it.
Oh my goodness, OG Wizard nearly piecing together an absolute masterclass. Decides to shift walk around the corner, giving a free chance to Cryptic to nail the deagle headshot. And nail it he did. Now it just feels like, sure, you know, there's a little bit of an extra lifeline for Lag, but you gotta think that sparks some motivation in the camp. I mean, stake odds don't necessarily look any different in that regard. But they're gonna have to really pull together here.
Gonna get the opener onto B-Wills. Nyx finds Cryptic, and then OG Wizards gets a double. Oh no, is it gonna fall apart for Lag again after getting a round victory? They haven't had 2 in a row since Mirage. Can they pull this one back? B-site's open. DJ's got the bomb. Maybe he can plant it. Freshy is creeping his way in towards Cave, though. And that'll make this plant a lot more difficult. And DJ doesn't even decide to commit to it because he doesn't know what's around here. Oh, does peek back in and does collect his spray in order to take down Freshy. So even numbers at a 2v2. Utility is here. 2 incendiaries will make life difficult for Lag, and OG Wizard hits a headshot onto Sandman, then Wumbo trades out his teammate's death. It is going to be, indeed, another round isolated by Marsborne. They are now up 12-4 with 8 opportunities to close out this series.
Counter-terrorists win.
Now then, after all of that collapse, Lag have 8 rounds that they need in a row to get this back level. And frankly, I don't think they're going to get one. I know that sounds dramatic, but it just feels like Marsborne can do no wrong. Even in the almost round from OG Wizard, there was a chance there. They're gonna continue to fight tooth and nail, though. Cryptic and DJ double up into this B bomb site. They have a route in. They've got a bomb plant secured as well. Wumbo's arrived. He tries to spam down to see if he can get a freebie, but just off the mark.
I'm not sure if Marsborne go for this. Even up 12-4, right? You're looking at their money. It isn't in a great spot. Maybe if they can get a spam kill here. I mean, Cryptic and Slide are really low. But keeping the guns up is more important because you've got such a huge cushion. You don't need to take any unnecessary risks, and that is exactly what they're going to do. They're going to fall back. I'm not taking unnecessary risks. They're going to fall back and be conservative, which is what they need to do. And Lag will be happy to get another round. Will we get 2 in a row from Lag before this map ends? And I mean, this is their last chance, because if you don't, it's over.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to need all the help that they can get. Yeah. 3 rifles on the other end of the equation that still allow for this buy to come out. And, I mean, eventually, you know, loss bonus is going to kick in. It's going to start to get a little ugly in terms of how many buy rounds they're going to have to win up against. And I'm not necessarily sure if they've got that in them. But for those of you at home that are looking for some gaming mice, ATK Gear is having a giveaway for 8 mice. So look out for that. Click on the banner and potentially lock yourself a spot in that. And it looks like Marsborne will be locking themselves into that upper bracket semi in just a little bit. Man advantage for them, 4-on-3. As Sandman tries to pull things together, charging up through the red room, finding a very important gap in the defense here. A couple players coming up through Donut, but do they know about OG Wizard in A main is the real question. And this is being heard by OG Wizards. So the rotations are coming through slowly but surely, and Sandman won't be able to find any sort of opening kill. They've mollied off this A main side of things right now, but the jig is up. Marsborne know what's coming, and they've just got to find a way to deal with it now.
And I'm not sure that Lag are aware of the fact that Wumbo's over in A main, so that could be a big problem for them. A couple of their players tucked into Donut, though, and one in Temple. We'll see how this plays out, but Lag could be watching the last round of this map and series built away. Let's see. Freshy gets one. That's not good. OG Wizard finds Sandman. It's like the last one available. He's going to string 3 together. Almost did it. There's time for the defusal. Oh, he pulled off it for a moment. There should still be time. All right. It is Marsborne who are going to get the 13th round and take this series. That was almost an insane effort from Slight, but it's just not enough, and they indeed could not get 2 in a row at any point there, Paladin.
I feel like we've had some crazy spray downs in CS2. I mean, I'm always going to think about the Magic's clutch that we just had